Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix.
Hi, Paul!
It is New Comic Book Day for the week of May 8th. We're going to get started right now.
Now.
This episode brought to you by the Capes and Scowls podcast. Listen to it.
Ooh, I like that.
There'll be stuff in the description so that way you can find Capes and Scowls. They're actually pretty good. I like them. I'm actually in some of their stuff. So
yeah.
It's synergistic stuff.
Symbiotic.
Well, symbiotic makes it seem like one of us is leeching off the other.
Can't we alternate who's the leech?
No.
What do you mean no?
Because neither of us suck. See? Yeah, we took that to the nth degree there.
Yeah,
We're going to get started right now.
Hey guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls. Hooray! Thanks to everybody who checks out my Capes and Scowls stuff. I have a lot of fun doing my podcast especially. Hey, let's talk about trades, because you love trades, don't you? You trade-loving folk. We've got 6 Days, the incredible story of D-Day's lost chapter. What's it about? I don't know. It was lost, but here's a hardcover about it. We've got Justice League, Graveyard of Gods. Graveyard of Gods. The tides of doom are rising, and the heroes are in over their heads. Yeah, that happens. We've got Star Wars, Age of Republic Villains. This is a bunch of those one-shots. This one will cover, let's see here, Count Dooku, Darth Maul, General Grievous, Jango Fett, and some stuff from the Age of Republic special. It's got a lot of good people in there. Woo, Jody Hauser. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, Volume 1. This is the new number 1 for Spider-Gwen. Did you read issue 1 of this?
No. I read like the last trade of the last series.
It's probably also good, though. They do pretty good by Spider-Gwen. And last but not least, we've got Mega Man Master. I just completely blew all those words together. Leave it in, Paul. I'm not ashamed. Mega Man Master Mix, Volume 1, Robot Rebellion. I read some of these. These were those thicker, like $8 quarterly Mega Man comics, all rolled into one. It's from Udon Entertainment. It's an official Capcom release. It also reads from right to left, so if you're not a manga fan, just be prepared for that. But it's very good.
This is kind of a short week. There wasn't a ton to read. Not a lot of my go-tos that I usually kind of do. So I was out of my comfort zone and picked a bunch of stuff that I haven't read yet. But that's fun sometimes, especially when you're doing reviews. So the first book I have is Excellence, issue number 1. This was an interesting read. I'm not sure if I'm all in on it yet, but this is from Brandon Thompson, Kerry Randolph, and Emilio Lopez. It is a world where a son is basically always looking for the adulation and love of his father, who is kind of a hard and unfeeling man, who is one of the top magicians and the keeper of his name as a magician's family. And it is the struggle of this young magician to gain his love while also trying to bury the feelings of anger and rage that have bubbled up from not having a father that was compassionate to them. It's a very complex story, and even through this first issue, I'm not quite sure where it's supposed to go, because there's a lot of time skipping, because you're basically learning about this character's motivations throughout the first 19 years of his life, and that opens up a lot of ground that you have to basically be force-fed into. It's a very thick read, but the art is awesome, and the writing kept me interested at least to the next couple issues. Unlike some Image issues, I will want to read the next couple of issues to see how this develops, and if I can understand more of the book and more of the story. But if you're looking for something new, give it a try. The art was beautiful and the writing was good.
All right, first up, because Paul didn't want to read it. Paul, why didn't you want to read this book?
Because I always read Batman.
You do always read Batman. Good call. Batman and the Outsiders, number 1. This is a callback to, I think it was like 1980 something when they originally did Batman and the Outsiders. That infamous cover where he's like, "You guys are jerks. I'm going with these guys, these D-list scrub guys you've never heard of. Let's make them popular." You've heard of them. This is a different group. The one thing that kind of is prominent from the original one is Katana. And then you have Black Lightning leading the team with Signal and Orphan. Orphan's the old Batgirl. Yes, Orphan. I read this thing and paid attention. Basically, what it is Batman is investigating something that has gone on. Somebody was murdered, and it has to do with something he's aware of from the past. He doesn't want to get them completely involved. He's like, look, just go do this one little thing. Go take care of it. Black Lightning, you're in charge. Go take care of it. And they are kind of in the middle of a lot of personal crises. Signal in particular is really messed up after the events of Detective Comics. I believe in trade format, it's volume 8. He got beat up pretty good, and it's just kind of like this broken team that Batman wants Black Lightning to throw together. But Black Lightning's like, you don't really need me. I don't understand what's going on. Katana's really done well in this. It's a fun book. It could go somewhere really cool. I wasn't a super big fan of that last page, though. I'm not gonna lie, but it's a fun book. Check it out and let me know what you think.
Next up, we have Vampirella and Red Sonja meet Betty and Veronica, issue number 1. This is by Amy Chu and Maria Sanapova. Sanapo. I'm sorry I butchered your name, and the colorist, you're cool, but I'm not even trying to do that. I'll put it in the notes. But yeah, I'm just going to destroy that name. So we have Vampirella and Red Sonja on the hunt for a cult that just happens to reside in Riverdale. And that's basically what we have. We have a bloodletting from one of the new teachers dies, and Betty and Veronica, as journalists for their school newspaper, try to figure out what happened and run into Red Sonja and Vampirella. It's a cute book. I liked it. I definitely want to read more of it. It was fun, and the art was great. And just on a personal thing, there's a bunch of stuff in here that we want to cosplay. So check it out. It's fun. It's your typical Betty and Veronica story mixed in with Red Sonja and Vampirella. So I liked the juxtaposition of the two genres kind of coming together. So I think you might too.
All right, next up we've got Samurai Jack, Lost Worlds number 1. This is from IDW. It focuses on some weird kind of locales that Jack has ended up. He's kind of the scruffy, more jagged edge Jack that we saw in the later version of the show. And essentially this is about a town that idolizes Samurai Jack. Everybody has employed his kind of way of being, and they've made the place a better place to be. And then this Samurai Jack imposter shows up in town. Jack gets wind of it, and they go fight. It's really fun. This has the feel of the show. The art's really good. The writing's very good. Everything is there. Paul Allor is your writer, and Adam Bryce Thomas does the art. Everything about it really good. The action is super actiony. The more pedestrian scenes, there's little things they focus on that I really think make the scenes pop. And I enjoyed it. I felt like I was watching an episode of Samurai Jack. So these IDW peoples, this crew for Lost Worlds, they did a good job. It's a single contained story. I believe the next issue will be another Lost World. I enjoyed it. I hope it's the same team on the next one. If it's not, I'm still excited to see what happens with Samurai Jack. Every time they do Jack, they do him right, I feel, at IDW. So, Samurai Jack, if you enjoy Jack, you gotta get it.
And my pick of the week is a book I haven't picked up since, like, issue 3. It is Spider-Man Deadpool, issue number 50, and I didn't realize until reading the end of this book that this is the end of the series. This is the last issue. This has so much fourth wall breaking. It's ridiculous. Including insulting its own writers and artists and everything like that. But Spider-Man and Deadpool are trying to fight the Manipulator, Deadpool has lost his ability to break the fourth wall, and he believes that the manipulator actually is the fourth wall. And once they partially defeat him, he gets his ability to talk to us again. And the banter and the fun that happens with Deadpool talking to both us and the writers. Like at one point, he gushes about the fact that he can read the editor's notes again and miss them. This was just a fun book, and kind of an interesting way to end the series, but it was a lot of fun. You don't necessarily need to read any of Deadpool and Spider-Man prior to this to at least get the understanding of what's going on. In order to break the manipulator, they have to talk to Gwenpool, who exists in the page in the sections between panels. She lives in the margins, and it's so over the top and ridiculous, but it is really fun to read, and I definitely enjoyed it. So pick it up.
All right, it's time for my pick of the week. Paul, it's time for my pick of the week, Paul. It's Star Wars: Age of Rebellion, Boba Fett. Does that surprise you, Paul?
It does.
I've read a bunch of Star Wars as of late, and it's all been pretty solid. This one I really enjoyed. First of all, I am a sucker for Terry Dodson art. Terry Dodson, along with Rachel Dodson, super great. But the inside is other people's. We've got a Greg Pak story. Greg Pak is a veteran of everything, and Mark Lamming does the art. It is a really cool story of Boba Fett taking a bounty and passing some questionable outlaw characters on the way in to collect the bounty. And basically what happens is he ends up being pit against one of these outlaws. You come to find out who is also a bounty hunter. Looking at it from the perspective of the movies, where Boba Fett doesn't get a ton of screen time, a ton of things explained. If you're coming into this cold, that's what you know of him. You haven't followed the expanded universe. And even if you did, maybe you don't know what from Dark Horse is considered canon, what from the novels is canon. This is a good pickup for you. Boba Fett it explains his code of honor, how he operates as a bounty hunter, who he will and will not go after, and it's just a very action-packed kind of story. It's really good at just explaining the character. All of these one-shots have been pretty decent, but I feel like this one did the best job of really putting over Boba Fett, making you care about Boba Fett. And, I mean, it's got that sweet Dodson art. So, if you love this character, you need to read this. It's just mandatory now. Pick it up. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. You've made it to the end of the video, and it is officially over. Please remember your mothers. Mother's Day is Sunday. What are you going to do with your mother? Anything fun? Anything cool? Paul, you doing anything cool? Dinner with Mom. I'm taking my mom. Yeah? Very cool, very cool. I'm taking my mother and my wife out with my daughter. I can't say where in case my wife watches this, but sometimes she does. My wife's weird. Sometimes she'll be like, I don't give a sheesh about anything you do, but then other times she's like, I saw that thing you did on the interweb. Wives, they're tricky. So yeah, don't forget your mother. At least give her a card, give her a kiss, give her a hug, say hello to her. Go visit her in that institute you put her in. You terrible human being. Anyways, that's it. Paul's not paying attention to me, so this isn't as much fun as it normally is. Paul, tell me how terrible I am.
Not that terrible.
I'm pretty terrible.
You're not.
Alright, well, that's because my mother's not in that weird institution.
There's a mushy center to you.
There's not a mushy center.
There really is a mushy center.
What kind of filling is in this mushy center?
I want to say Boston cream.
That's a good pick. I like that. I'm going to accept that as an answer. Is that because we had Boston cream donuts that time on the way back from D.C.?
No.
Because we did, and it was great.
It was.
Yeah. Well, I needed coffee. You know me.
Yeah.
Anyways,